dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
What up, y'all? It's KMB the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. Ew. We're talking about SmackDown, July 4th, 2025. In Pittsburgh still, because this was pre-taped. I saw a lot of the spoilers already. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait until watch the show. But I am happy that we're back at the 2-hour mark for this show and going forward and stuff like that. Just because I was like, oh, thank God. 3 hours of SmackDown. It's like brutal, just like Raw. You know, Raw has found that like groove of 2.5 hours, 2.5 or less. But SmackDown is like that 3 hours. Like, what do we do here, man? You know what I mean? So we start the show off with King Cody. He comes out, tells us what that crown represents to him. Then Randy comes out, tells him, you need to kick John Cena's ass. I almost crushed your skull in, but you didn't. You pulled the trigger, Cody, and that's what earns my respect. But now I want you to go to SummerSlam and kick John Cena's ass. Just kick it. Kick it in the booty, if you can see it. And the big return with a great shirt. I'm bored at work. Mr. Drew McIntyre interrupts, coming to the ring and being good old Drew that we love and ass. But he talks to Cody like, man, me and you, man, we went off and we made a name for ourselves and we came back. Then he talks to Randy Orton. Randy doesn't like what he's saying, and he gives him an RKO. But this sets up Randy and Drew McIntyre at Saturday Night Main Event. So far on that card, I was looking, we have LA Knight versus Seth. Randy now versus Drew. And we have Goldberg versus Gunther. They are really trying to stack this card, and Evolution they're stacking that card as well. But yeah. You know what's funny is I thought, wait, we got a big weekend. Wait, wasn't Great American Bash that weekend too? Like 4 shows of WWE? I don't know. I got kind of lost in all of this. But then we go into the Secret Service versus Alexa and Charlotte. I really am trying to understand what they're doing with Alexa and Charlotte. Are they just doing this so they can get Charlotte back with the people? You know what I mean? That's what I feel this is. This is something that's like trying to make people who really hate Charlotte Flair being like, oh, no, she's actually pretty cool. Her and Alexa Bliss are homies, you know? That's what we're doing here. That's what I feel we're trying to do. Is their dynamic cute? Yeah, I really think so. I think so. And, trying to best each other. But Alexa and Charlotte do get the win. Charlotte was about to get the pin, but no, here comes Chelsea. Then Alexa takes the pin, and Charlotte's like, what? And then Charlotte hugs her. And I was like, oh, this is cutely awkward. I don't know what's going on here. Then after this, we get I don't know about this, man. Jade Cargill. I'm not sighing because of Jade. I'm actually happy she's the queen of the ring. But of course, Tiffy's gonna come out, and Tiffy comes out. She's like, I'm glad you're the queen. Blah blah blah. SummerSlam. Blah blah blah. But out of nowhere, I already knew the spoilers, but it was just more frustrating now to see on TV. She brings out Trish Stratus. I'm like, okay. And just hands Trish Stratus a championship match at Evolution 2. And I'm like, what? Why? What? Don't get me wrong, I like Trish Stratus, but her last run with Becky and all this stuff was just bleh. And then now this, just being handed a championship match, I'm just like, I don't know who asked for this, but then Jade's like, it doesn't matter who I face at SummerSlam. We know it's going to be Tiffy. That's a much more interesting dynamic, Tiffy versus Jade. Unless they do give Trish Stratus the title, which I just don't. No. Please don't. I want Tiffy versus Jade. That's what I want. You know? But the Superman's bringing us together, folks. Movie comes out next week. It was Powered Dynamite and it Powered SmackDown with the women's tag team match. A lot of tag team matches tonight because we get a great one. And my match of the night right here, Fraxium versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. This was an awesome match. I gotta say it was balls to the wall crazy, and I like Andrade and Rey Fenix. But Andrade and Rey Fenix did get the win over Fraxium. And I remember they brought in Fraxium nice and hot, and now they're kind of getting mild. So make way for Andrade and Rey Fenix. Then another big tag match, the Wyatt Six versus Berto, Chris Sabin, Montez Ford, and Johnny Gargano. It was insane, you know. Mr. Johnny Gargano got scared to the point to where he didn't take the tag from Sabin. And the Wyatt Six get the win over these four. You know, they've been building this whole crazy tag team thing. It's like, where are we going with this? What are we doing with the Wyatt Six? What are we doing with these other tag teams, you know? What are we doing? I don't know. Wyatt Six got the win, though. Right? That's all. Jacob and Jimmy versus Solo and JC. It was okay. You know? You know how these guys wrestle. Jacob's the shining star in these four. And don't get me wrong, I like Jimmy. Don't get me wrong, I like Big Jim. He hasn't really called himself that in a while. But Jacob and Jimmy got the win. I'm like, woohoo! And guess what? Here comes the rest of the Tonga Tongas. They come and attack. They attack Jimmy. Solo's commanding. I don't think they're going to call themselves the new Bloodline. I think the Bloodline name itself is just done, you know, so we can never go back upon it. But they're going to probably call themselves something else. And they put Jacob Fatu through the table. And that's the way we end this show. We got SummerSlam August 2nd and 3rd. And next week we got a big weekend with a Saturday night main event and Great American Bash, right? Am I right? And then Evolution. 3 WWE shows in one weekend. So, but that is July 4th, 2025. You know, I wanted a little more from Cody. Randy coming in, telling him to kick John Cena's ass. My match of the night, Fraxium versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. I thought that was really good. But, man, a lot of tag team matches here. And like I said, I think moment of the night actually goes to Alexa and Charlotte. Like, Charlotte giving Alexa that hug, I was like, oh, okay. But overall, SmackDown in Pittsburgh. We had Joe and Wade on commentary in Pittsburgh. Hope you had a good 4th of July. Hope you ate a lot of hot dogs and steaks and hamburgers and lots of beer. If you did celebrate. I was at work. So, but that's it. That's all, y'all. SmackDown, July 4th, 2025. I give it a solid 3 out of 5. Match of the night, Fraxium versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. Moment of the night, the weird hug between Alexa and Charlotte. Because I like, Charlotte goes for the hug and then she kind of just shrugs it off. It's like, oh, whoa. Okay, there was a moment here that I almost fell over laughing. Naomi, this whole proceed with caution. Oh my gosh. Trish and Jade have a moment backstage, and after she's Naomi it just weirdly just like a little hits Jade in the back, and Jade goes in, and then she's like, "You should have proceeded with caution." I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then perfect timing. Here comes Nick Aldis, and he's like, "Jade, you okay?" And she's like, "I want Naomi." You know, just play out. Maybe that's the moment of the night. Just, it's the cackle from Naomi, man. I think this thing's stupid, but I think Naomi's so invested that I'm invested in this whole proceed with caution thing. going on. She's even got her own briefcase now for it. So, yeah, you know, with the caution tape and everything. So, so remember, folks, to like and subscribe, share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. The New World Podcast is for life, brother. You know all that stuff. And remember to proceed with caution.
Oh, you don't got it. You're not family.
That ain't sexy anymore, Johnny.
It's not.
Very different.
No, as he slams him down and right into the